Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Jacksnax. On today's lesson we're going to examine the shuffle, okay? I'm going to do it in the key of E. It's an important style of rhythmic play that a lot of guitar players don't have a good understanding of. Even advanced players, they don't know how to make it move and make it feel like it's pumping. And I'm going to show you a couple of quick little tricks with the right hand that I think really help make that happen. A few extra chord progressions and a quick little turnaround that I think is kind of clever that maybe you don't know. All right, so stick around. All right, let's look at these two types of shuffle moves, okay? Right hand. First is, the one that we're probably most familiar with, which is and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. So that's upstrokes on the ands, downstrokes on the downbeats. That kind of thing. Okay. The second is using 2 downstrokes and then a palm muted pick stroke rest to create almost like an echo effect. Okay. So the difference in sound would be like one is more open like this. Okay, and the other is more tight and muted. Okay, they're both really handy to have under control, and a lot of people don't know about this little tight, that move, where you go boom, boom, rest. That last little is very important, okay? If you don't hit that, it's not gonna sound, it's just gonna sound like, I actually have a hard time not putting my hand down from years of doing this. But anyway, so let's look at the left hand now that we've talked about some of the right hand basics, okay? We've got and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, okay? So that's gonna start on an open guitar. We're gonna come down in this E7 shape. Okay, then we're gonna go open again and come down again. Low E is kind of thumping the whole time. And we can mute the open nature of this. It doesn't always have to be, it can sometimes be just the first and second string there. The E and the B string rather. Okay, but that's up to you. The chord shape here, it's E7. We're going to come up and grab this kind of A shape. Okay, it's going to feel like an A chord with the ring finger on the C sharp here and the low E in the bass. All right, technically that's an A chord with the E in the bass. Okay, so we've got the 5th in the bass, the 3rd, then the 5th again. Finally, we get to the root of this A chord, which is why it kind of functions more like an E6 chord with the suspension. Right? But that's what it is. It's kind of like the equivalent of going, that's a C chord, right? But it usually is used by guitar players as a suspension of a G chord, okay? So similar. Okay, and there we are. Look out for that high E. Do not fret the F sharp unless you want to get kind of, I don't know. There's something nice about that occasionally, but it isn't usually what I hear as a go-to sound in the blues. So the up, down has definitely got a Texas kind of SRV thing happening for sure. Okay, 3rd chord is going to be slid into like that. Okay, so we're kind of we're subdividing the beat a little bit with that slide. And we're going to take a D note, okay, up from C sharp on the A string, 5th fret. So slide from 4 to 5 on the A. And the middle finger comes from B flat up into B. And again, the low E is riding. Okay, so what do we end up there? We got an E, a D, and a B. That's how we spell out an E7 chord. Okay, now granted, having the flat 7 so low in the thing makes it sound real thick. So if you're playing with like a gutsier, more driven sound, that can be really, really driving and fun. Otherwise, you know, that sounds really nice, right? Right? All right, and that's what we're doing over our E chord. Like I said, we're catching a few of those, that kind of thing. All right, so figure it out, experiment. Now it's time to get to the A chord. Okay, there's a nice, you know, we've all played that kind of thing where we chromatically build from, say, the second degree of the chord we were on. So chromatically building from F sharp up to our 4 chord, the A. So how do we do that in harmony? And we come up into our A chord like that. So that'll sound like... like that kind of thing. So what is that? Okay, that's the F sharp note and a harmony. Okay, that's an A note on the G string, 2nd fret. And open down, and then we kind of hope that that's muted, that's fretted, that's muted. So we're really just hearing these 2 notes, but sometimes more stuff happens and you just kind of have to go with it. Right? That's all right. That's not going to kill anybody. Okay, that's a little tighter execution across these 2 strings, and this chromatically the same shape to build up to. Okay, so what's happening there is we're harmonizing the E major scale. Because we have 2 consecutive, the same shape, 2 frets apart, we can connect them chromatically. That's generally speaking how the guitar works, at least with, you know, that's how we can do those kind of, right? So we're going to come up into our A chord, and we'll talk about A chord shapes when I come back in a second. All right, hopefully you're still with me here. We've gone from the E chord. All right, we've built our little transition. These are, you know, tenths or something like that, I guess. And we're coming up to our A voicing. So rather than, we can play it here if we want and just do what we did here. Okay, that's kind of doesn't take advantage of the low A string that we have available to us here. So you could do like that's the same E7 shape here, and that is the same as that, right? Relative to the A chord, this is the same. Okay, and then you could slide up. You have to be real careful with muting, okay? Right? All right, so that's if you want to do it here in the closed position, which is helpful if you're playing, if this wasn't in E, let's say it was in the F, you'd have to come up to B flat and you'd be stuck playing, right? Because this, you can't, you get into real trouble. So you'll see in a second what's cool about these open voicings here, okay? So if we go, and now we're into the A. So that's what we're doing. We're coming in from 1 fret below, and 1. Come up and tag the B and E string here on the 5th fret. Okay, and that's the equivalent of, right, in E. Now we've got the A chord, our little up. Okay, now we're looking for that. Okay, so it's got the A and the bass still, and then we've got F sharp, A, and D. That's the D chord. Okay, with the inversion with the fifth and the with the fifth and the bass. And we're going to slide that up. Okay, that's going to be the fifth and the flat seven, just like when we've slid up here and we had the fifth and the flat seven. Fifth, flat seven. Here we're going to have fifth, flat seven again. Same intervals. Okay, and then we can do, if we want to get back to it. All right, again, little tenths to transfer. Now we're up to our B chord, okay? Now you can play this. Which is the equivalent of what we just played over the A, without the benefit of the low A string to pedal off of. Right? That would be. So in a full band setting, that's fine, because the bass player will probably be hitting that low stuff, all right? Or you can do this, or you can do what I'm about to show you. So if we do, right here, we're playing that chord. We're going to reach our pinky over and grab the B. Like that. Okay, so we're going to learn this first one here, and then we're going to shift to that. All right. Whoop. Okay, and then we hit our little turnaround. All right, so I'll be back in a minute to show you the turnaround. So hopefully now we've figured out how to get up to the B chord, or mixing them. All right, and now we're going to talk about this turnaround. So that's going to be sliding up, and then an upstroke on the root and the third of this little partial E chord. Okay, so we just played over the 5. Oh. Okay, we're going to approach from one below, just like we did here on the A chord. All right, and here on the B chord. We're going to do, and we're going to come up here and hit the third. That's the G sharp up here on the B string, 9th fret. Come down on the pinky, 12th fret D string. All right, and then we're going to start going chromatically down. And at the same time, we're going to have contrary motion coming up. Okay, so the B string is going to be ascending, the D string is going to be descending. Okay? Kind of fun, right? So, okay. This is going to look like, an A chord, but we're not going to really be hitting the A there, right? We're using it more as a device. That is an A and that's a C7, I believe, right? Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's a C7. So if you wanted to, I mean, I guess you could hear those as full chords. I don't usually hear. Okay, then that's what's happening, okay? And then we come up here. And then, and that's just playing C7 to B7 with the fifth and the bass. So now you could do, and actually put the C and the B in the bass, but this is kind of hip to go. And then we're back into our groove. So that's going to wrap up today's lesson. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Jacksnax. Hopefully you got your shuffle shoved in. All right, take care. Check in soon. Thanks for stopping by.